Hey everybody, this is Henry Gilbert from Games Radar, and you know, lots of games have bosses that you have to battle to get to the end of the game, but it's a truly great game that brings together those bosses under a set vision and purpose. The best boss teams are unique, they have memorable designs, and they have personalities that bounce off each other in interesting ways. You really want to defeat them, but in the end you might even miss them because they were such a great group of characters. So take a look at the top 7 best boss teams in gaming history.
The Koopalings, these annoying little dudes. Like, I don't even know what they're around for. I know originally everyone said that they were Bowser's kids, but then Nintendo pulled a Maury Povich and were like, you are not the father. So now they're just there to hassle Mario for no reason, I guess.
They each have like their own castle and their own themes and stuff, and they like wave wands and capture the kings and turn them into animals and stuff. And then, you know, they kind of disappeared for a really long time, and now they're just all of a sudden in like everything, like new Super Mario Brothers and Mario Kart 8.
I like Roy out of the Koopalings. He's my favorite. He's laid back, he's cool, he's got shades on, he cares, but he doesn't really care. And the cool thing is, he's got a little, you know, kaboom box with him sometimes.
It's not all that interesting to fight Bowser 7 times in a row as Mario does in the original Super Mario Brothers. So for Super Mario 3, the team came up with Koopalings, these little Koopa characters that have their own special powers that Mario battles in succession in each world to then get to the main event of Bowser. In Super Mario Bros. 3, there wasn't a lot of room for personality, but they definitely had their own unique designs. You know, Larry, Lemmy, Morton Koopa Jr., Wendy-O Koopa, they all had specific looks. Like, in Mario Trivia History, it said that each of the characters is based off of a member of the Mario 3 design team. I'm not exactly sure how true that is, but that is the urban legend. So this villain team-up calls upon decades of Disney film history to create like the ultimate team of bad guys to take down. And they all work under Sleeping Beauty's Maleficent, which totally makes sense because she is easily the best bad guy in Disney history. I don't care if you think Jafar or Oogie Boogie is better, like no, it's Maleficent. It totally is Maleficent.
You know, when you think about it, these guys are kind of like super evil, like Maleficent. She curses a baby, that's pretty screwed up.
Fighting the Disney villains is basically a childhood dream come true. There's all these terrible, dastardly bad guys from when you were a kid, and you finally get to fight them in all these cool, crazy ways, and they all have these really unique ways of fighting. So it's always a different challenge, always a bit of a trick how you go about doing it. So you really feel like it was tough, but you managed it, you pulled it off.
Jafar gets straight to it, takes care of business. He is the second in command on the council, and if you played through the first Kingdom Hearts, you know that he takes care of business and gets things done.
Square Enix and Kingdom Hearts went all out with the Disney villains as well, hiring many of their real voices from the cartoons, including bringing back Jafar's voice, James Woods as Hades even. It was really impressive to see. It's hard to get more evil than the devil. And this collection of the 3 Lords of Hell are definitely a scary group.
Diablo, Baal, and Mephisto. And these guys are, you know, the prime evils. They're the evilest dudes in the entire universe. There's heaven, there's hell, and these guys are the leaders of all that is demons and gross things. And they're not even really, I guess they're kind of a team, but they kind of hate each other too. So they're that evil that they can't even do teamwork.
Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal. They are as evil as you can possibly get. Like literally, that's all they are. It's just incarnations of the most evil things ever. Diablo is the Lord of Terror, Mephisto is the Lord of Hatred, and Baal is the Lord of Destruction. And that's just kind of their thing. So every bad thing that's ever happened to anyone ever, these guys probably had something to do with it.
Diablo's evil enough to control his own video game, but it's those 3 at the top that are definitely noteworthy as worth clicking on your mouse pad 700 times in a row to take down. ASURA'S Wrath is basically like the film Kill Bill, except replace Kung Fu Master assassins with ancient gods that can live for thousands of years.
You have Asura, who was betrayed by his fellow demigod brethren, and his wife was murdered, and they kidnapped his daughter, like you do when you're an evil demigod. So Asura goes on a mission to kill them all and save his daughter. Except you don't just get some cool looking sword fights, you get massive explosions and people being shot into space and people fighting sword fights with their teeth, and for some reason they're part robot. I don't know. Who knows? It's just awesome.
Asura's Wrath is all about gods fighting each other, you know, god on god combat. It's all cool stuff, and like they really show it with these the 7 deities, because there's, you know, the big fat guy, he pokes you with his finger and he's as big as a planet. Then there's a guy that you fight on the moon, he's got this giant sword and he stabs you and you like get stabbed through the earth. Like everything's just super epic, and all these characters are just like insane cool, and you know, they make this really cool group of super evil dudes.
It's arguable that any group of Mega Man's Robot Masters could be on here, but I think Mega Man 2's are still the most memorable and iconic. It's up to you to pick the order in which you fight them, so each of the Robot Masters in, you know, that grid around Mega Man has to be distinct enough to make you want to play any of them. Just looking at their face alone makes you want to go like, I want to beat up that guy. I want to battle Metal Man.
Like Airman is a giant fan, and there's a guy who shoots bubbles. And Woodman, he fights with leaves. That's like the least threatening super robot that ever existed.
They were such a memorable cast of characters that they actually moved them on to like Mega Man 3. They were just in there for no reason. They just put them in suits and they had their abilities and stuff.
Flashman is my favorite. Why? You think you're on top of the game, then he freezes time and then shoots you with a barrage of 7 or 8 pellet bullets, whatever those things are, and then done.
Weapons weren't a new concept for the Final Fantasy series, because by that point they'd appeared in multiple previous entries, but Final Fantasy VII made them the most important to the plot they'd ever been. These giant robots were summoned from the earth by Sephiroth, and they become his tools to just destroy Midgard.
Instead of, you know, going after Sephiroth and the giant meteor that's coming at the planet, they decide they're gonna go after Midgar and all these other human settlements because humans are draining Mako and killing the planet. So, you know, thanks Captain Planet, fantasy version.
So the weapons are basically just giant robots that swim around the sea, and you'd expect like Godzilla to fight them. Like they're the kaiju, essentially, and the only way to take them down is with giant cannons.
Ruby and Emerald kind of get remembered the most because they are just so infamous, but really the entire team of weapons are such a great group. The weapons' first appearance in the game is also very good. Like the music in the background is just like seared in my mind ever since seeing it. As a Metal Gear fanatic, you could argue like, oh, is Beauty and the Beast from Metal Gear 4 better? Is the Cobra team from Metal Gear 3 the best group of villains? But Foxhound is the best of the group, like bar none. Why? Because you can just quickly name off all of them. Sniper Wolf, Decoy Octopus, Revolver Ocelot, Vulcan Raven, and then Psycho Mantis. Like
Psycho Mantis. Craziest boss fight ever. The fool reads your memory card. I mean, Kojima, really? Really?
Each of them has their own special trick to them that if you just saw one of them in a video game, you'd be like, wow, this game has the best boss fights ever. There's Psycho Mantis' ability to manipulate your controller. There's Sniper Wolf's great marksmanship. And then there's even one that you just like kill without even trying. Like you don't even realize you kill him, he's just dead.
All of these characters were just so awesome. There's Vulcan Raven, he gets eaten by a bunch of ravens. And Revolver Ocelot, he's cool because he just spans the entire series. And Psycho Mantis was really cool. Decoy Octopus was like a guy that you didn't even know that you killed. Like, it's like so crazy. And these guys were all just working together as a team. You know, they had, you know, their terrorist intentions, and they were just all about evil and blowing up the world with the Metal Gear and stuff.
And so, like a great team of bad guys, we at Games Radar have worked together to present you with this list. But if you have other opinions on who the best video game bad guy teams are, tell us in the comments down below, and be sure to like and subscribe and all that great stuff, and we'll see you on the next awesome video.